Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of that Stalking show. My name is Doug. I'm a TI. For those of you that don't know me and who are just now tuning in for the first time, I've been a TI since 2004. Okay, today's show, this video is going to be very short. It's called Things Are Not Always As They Seem. A couple of 2-3 weeks ago, I went to go get some groceries. As you can see, this is the second floor of my apartment. I came up through this way where I always come through. And as I'm walking down this way with some groceries, there's a couple of dudes like standing right here at my guardrail. Late 20s, early 30s. I naturally thought, yeah, they're here. I got eyes on you, fucker. So as I'm walking towards this way, like I'm walking this way towards my apartment, like 20 feet back, they start to disperse. Two went this way, and the other dude, he went that way, down the stairs. I've never seen these guys before. There's a beautiful swimming pool over there. So I've never seen these guys before. I hadn't been lit up in a campaign or harassed in quite some time, and if I have been, I was just oblivious to it. So what I do, I come over here, I set my groceries down. My apartment's not clean, I apologize. I always do these videos spontaneous. So I set my groceries down, I put my groceries up, and then since they already dispersed, I really didn't pay any mind to them. I put my groceries up, and about 10 minutes later, I come over here with an index card, and I keep notes on these things all the time. And I just wrote down their description that two went this way and one went that way. I wrote down, I'm not sure. These guys could be here. I got eyes on you fucker type situation, scoping me out for who knows what. So what happens is I peek out my window, I don't see them anymore, and I go, well, I think I'm gonna go out here and just take a look and see what's going on out here, see if these characters are back. And you know what I see? I see all three of them right down here going to the pool. They got the towels on, they done changed clothes, they got in their swimming trunks. So one of two things happened. Either they're new tenants, I've never seen them before, and that's very, very possible, or they're cats from across the street. Across the street is a mobile home park. It's pretty big. Their swimming pool is out of order, and we get a lot of people who walk across the street with their towels draped over their shoulder, and they try to get into our pool, but we got an idiot-proof pool security latch on there that they can't figure out, and so they 9 times out of 10 leave. But these guys made it into the pool, so I saw them later, about 5 minutes later, out there in the pool, lounging around, splashed in the water, and I came back over here to my little note card. I tore it up, and it went into the trash can. I always keep notes on everything. If there's a suspicious vehicle, somebody I think's being creepy, I write down that license plate and I look it up if I need to. I keep notes on everything that I suspect is related to, targeting. And I always journal my opinion versus reality. Reality is the objective. The objective reality was 3 guys were out here leaning over my rail. As soon as they saw me, 2 went that way and 1 went downstairs. That's the facts. Aside from that, I don't know anything else, because I didn't ask them, like, hey, who are you guys and why are you parked in front of my apartment leaning over my rail like that? I didn't ask them that. Didn't want to cause them no grief. Didn't want to start nothing with them. No reason to. This is the USA. You can do what you want to, people, as long as you don't bother anybody. So I see these guys, and I make the connection that this possibly could be related to targeting. So let me just go ahead and jot this down. Don't freak out about it. Just jot down the objective. 3 guys, their weight, their height, yada, yada, yada. And then, of course, like I said, 30 minutes later, I come out and I see them walking to the pool. Then 5 minutes later, I check on them again. Splish splash, they're out in the pool having a good time. Took the note and I threw it away. I can't tell you how many notes that I still got in a big thick file that I've never thrown away. It's got my suspicions in the notes, but it's also got the reality of the impression I have. The reality is the objective: date, time, person, place. What happened? What exactly happened? Did I just see someone sitting in a certain color vehicle, staring at me, looking at me, doing all this kind of stuff, acting like a fool, being really preoccupied, eyes on me, and let's say we're at a mall parking lot and there's hundreds of people all over the place. They could be looking, checking out that skirt over there, checking out this over here, but they seem to be preoccupied with me and eyes in my direction. I will document it as such, but that's not proof of anything because they never got out, they didn't follow me or anything else like that. But it's just that natural suspicion, and that's unfortunately a part of targeting. You get so conditioned to believe that anyone that seems suspect is probably suspect. And that's just another part of targeting that is a reality. That the reality is that things are not always what they seem. You've been conditioned so much to associate certain looking people or people doing certain things when you get around them, like dispersing. I've seen that happen, not in front of my apartment, but in front of a motel room I occupied back in 2007 in Austin, Texas. But like I said, it was nothing. It was not what it seemed to be. So I took that note and I threw it away. And a couple of days later, I seen them again out there. So they're either from across the street, which I don't care, or they live here and they're new tenants, and I still don't care. But I wanted to share this with you guys because I every day, Facebook, they've got gang stalking groups on Facebook. They got dudes on Facebook, remote neural monitoring, V2K, and all this other kind of stuff. And you see a lot of whacked out stories. You just go, oh man, I don't know if I can believe this or not. This just seems really, really crazy. But occasionally you do see some people that are posting some really good factual knowledge, and that makes it worthwhile to stay in these groups. But there's people that post some of the most bizarre, crazy, to me it just really seems delusional. And unfortunately, a delusion is something that you're not typically born with. Delusions are created by a false belief in something. If I had a false belief that these guys were targeting me when I walked up, because I didn't go, oh, these guys are here and they got eyes on me, they're here to harass me, but that was my initial thought that popped up. But it got proven wrong. But there are people that don't pay attention to things like this, and so everything that happens in their life, once they've been targeted, it's all related to targeting. And the sad fact of reality is that's not the truth. There's not enough time, money, or resources to devote attention to any one target 24/7, 365. The only targets that get targeted like that, that's CIA, that's FBI, that's on a whole different level of espionage. Yeah, you got people watching other people all the time. I'm sure somewhere within the NSA, they got somebody trying to keep tabs on Edward Snowden, who's over in Russia. Though they can't walk over there and touch him, they really can't do anything to him. I'm sure as much as possible, they try to monitor his internet access, they try to monitor his phone calls, and they probably got a few plants over there in Russia who monitors activities. They just want to know what he's doing. What is he doing? Is he possibly going to say something? Is he possibly going to do something? We need to know ahead of time. Things like that, I would buy that more than I would someone saying, I'm a targeted individual and I get this 365, 247. Because the reality of the fact is, people, though we may think that it's always targeting, unless you can prove it's targeting, you can get that gut feeling. I had that gut feeling when I walked up. But that gut feeling, it went away once I saw these guys going to the pool. They were in the pool. They weren't up looking at me from the pool. Now, had they been in the pool, and as soon as I walked out, all three of these guys like, hey, there he is over there. I can't count how many times that has happened to me. I actually went to a bank one time. This was August 2018 when I was going through that last campaign that I went through. And this one particular lady, and I got a follow on her, she was over there huddling up with like 2 or 3 other bank employees, and she was talking back and forth, kept pointing in my direction. That's him over there. That's him over there. And I'd recently been in looking at some rifles at Walmart before they started getting rid of their guns. So I went up to look at some guns, and you know what happened the minute I got there? This old codger was there behind the desk making minimum wage, and I heard him say, well, here comes the Long Ranger. So it's like, what? So I go up there and I'm like asking for ammo for this pistol I got, and I want to look at a couple of rifles, which none of this had anything to do. I wanted to purchase a gun or anything. I like guns. I like looking at them, you know. So after that, here comes the Long Ranger. Later, I walked past this bank that I do business with at this particular Walmart, and here's this particular lady, and she's huddled up, and that's him over there. And you know what happens when I get there? This was going to be a quick video, but I got on a tangent. So I go up there to get a roll of quarters so I can do laundry, which is over there by the swimming pool. And while I'm getting my roll of quarters, she's leaning over and talking to another employee who's, you know, assisting me. And she goes, and this is so crazy. She says, do you know anybody in the world can be a sharpshooter? You can be a marksman? Anybody can do that. I'm like, I just got through looking at guns. So that's how bizarre that was. It was really, really bizarre. And that went into my journal of notes. And there was a couple other things she said throughout the years. Now, when I see her there, she doesn't pay me any mind and acts like I'm nobody special. But on that particular day, she's just leaning over. Hey, do you know that anyone can be a marksman or a sharpshooter? And she's telling this lady, and this lady she doesn't look over and go, yeah, I know that. She's just getting my quarters, because this is one thing I've noticed within targeting. There'll be some people who really want to get in on it, and you can tell it. And I've seen campaigns from the ground up at places I work. Like, I've heard people going, oh, here he comes, everybody get ready. That happened in 2007, in Austin, Texas. And they were getting ready to put on this big performance for me. But there were people at that time who were like just totally ignoring it. They're like, I could sense there were people like, I don't want to get involved in this. I don't want to have no part in it. And I sensed that. I sensed that when that chick at the bank was over there going, you can be a sharpshooter, and 5 minutes earlier she was huddled up with her other employees, and some were looking in my direction and some just had their head down, and they're huddled up, and they're like, I'm just here because I don't know why I'm here. I don't care what she's got to say about that guy over there. It's none of my business. I'm here to be a bank teller and do my job. They're just listening. But 5 minutes later, I walk up. Like I said, she says to the person, you know, she's about 2-3 feet away, and she's dramatic. Hey, you know, you can be a sharpshooter and a marksman if you want to be. And it's one of those fake, phony, bad performances. And it just blew my mind. I wanted to say, I wanted to cuss her out. I wanted to say all kinds of bad things to her. But you know what I did? Like always, during the daytime, I wear my shades. I just kept my eyes on the bank teller in front of me, and I didn't look over her and pay her any attention. I didn't look at her and go, really? Anybody can be a sharpshooter? Even me? Wow, I just went over there and I was looking at rifles a while ago. How interesting you found it amusing to start talking about sharpshooters after I've been looking at guns. In a department you can't even see from here. that's just part of the bizarre nature of this program. It's very, very bizarre. And a lot of times people get caught up in all this bizarre street theater, drama, directed conversation. And next thing you know, you're expecting it everywhere you go. And so you look at other people and you think they're in on it because they're hanging out in front of my apartment and they're not. Anyway, people, that's just my perspective. This is what I do to cope. This is what I do to maintain sanity, because I don't go around every time I open up that door and I leave, I don't go looking for it. And if it's out there and it's happening and I can videotape it, I do. But it's not going to end up on the show. I just save it and I make copies of it and I put it on various thumb drives, hard drives, and I keep it secure. You know, same thing with my journaling. I have backup copies of all that kind of stuff. So in the event that one day I may need this, I'll have it. But until then, it's not gang stalking show fodder. It's not look what I caught other people doing. At most, I'll talk about maybe 2-3% of the targeting that goes on and that has gone on in my life, but I really don't get that much into it. The main thing I try to do is get the perspective of what's happening during this event. Is it classical conditioning? Is it street theater? Was it directed conversation? What was going on? Was it workplace harassment, workplace mobbing, things of that nature, things that will shine light on the subject for other people. It's not for me to go, well, this just happened and I got a video of it, let me upload it and show it to y'all, because that's not going to happen. A lot of people do that, and it's okay if you want to do that, but for me, it's not okay, because I don't want to do it for various reasons that I'll just keep to myself. Anyway, that's really good for me. You guys have a great Monday evening.